West Ham United have had a simply shocking start to the Premier League season. 2 defeats, 8 goals conceded, and only 1 goal scored. It looks like it really could be one of the worst West Ham seasons in recent memory, which is a shame because it was only a couple of seasons ago they were European champions and ready to take the next step. However, things look that they've gone backwards, and today I'm here to change that. We are not stopping this rebuild until we win a European trophy and win the Premier League. So let's lock in and see how long it takes us to turn West Ham to what they should be. One of the biggest clubs in England. And of course, we are here on an updated database, so the Premier League is completely up to date and ready to go. So the nemesises of Sunderland are here, as well as the likes of Leeds and Burnley, and of course the relegation's correct as well. Now West Ham, well, it's been a bit of a weird time recently, hasn't it? I mean, European champions, what a story that is, winning the Europa Conference League. It was a fantastic night for West Ham fans, but after 8 goals conceded in 2 games, I think it's unlikely West Ham finish in European football once again. So today, I'm here to sort of revitalise West Ham. I am using a 5-back system, but one which I think is pretty different to the one that Graham Potter uses. But I'm going to try and get the best out of every single player in this squad. And as we go, hopefully we turn West Ham into one of the best teams in the world. If you like the sound of that, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for a lot more coming out on the channel in the next few weeks. Now, first up, let's go through this West Ham team then and the tactic we have built. Looking at the back line, of course, in goal, we have new goalkeeper Mads Hermansen, who hasn't started the best, but I'm looking to try and utilise him on FM. The back three, we've got Agued, Max Kilman, and Tadibo, who looks very good, and hopefully that back three on FM is going to be more than good enough for us. In the wing-back positions, we do have El Hadji Malik Diouf, who looks fantastic. Grabbed an assist despite the 5 goals conceded against West Ham, and I think this guy's a real shining light of this West Ham team, and I think over the next couple of seasons we'll probably, if West Ham don't progress, move on to a bigger side, but he could go on to be a bit of a club cult hero. On the right-hand side, we have 2 grey options. Number 1 is, of course, Kyle Walker-Peters, but on the bench, we do also have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to let them fight out and see who takes that wing-back spot. In the midfield, we've got Guido Rodriguez and a gap because I'm looking to make a signing in that position. We're not done yet on transfers, West Ham fans. Don't worry. I am keeping Lucas Paqueta out of the club also. I think it's unlikely he moves this late into the window, especially with West Ham needing more creativity in the team, and you'll see that based on my signings. I doubt Paqueta leaves. I think he stays and really pulls in to this West Ham team. On the right is Jarrod Bowen. I don't see West Ham ever getting relegated or having a player like Jarrod Bowen. He is way too good to almost let a team get relegated. So he's going to be staying here at the club and hopefully lifts a Premier League title with West Ham. And up front, for the first couple of seasons, we've got Niklas Füllkrug, a 31-year-old German striker who we've got in a complete forward on support role, which suits him really well. He's 6'2", can hold with the ball, but actually doesn't have awful pace. His finishing is fantastic as well, and his link-up play is really good. So I'm not angry at the placement of this team so far. I actually think it's a very good team. I think the rotations are decent. In the attacking positions, Callum Wilson, Somerville, Luis Guillaume, the midfield of Ward-Prowse and Souček, and then the back 5, we've got Emerson, Walker-Peters, Luis João and Mavropanos, and backup goalkeeper Areola. I'm going to look to bring in a brand new centre-back and midfielder to finish off this window. I need to sell Edson Alvarez as well because he has gone to Fenerbahce in real life, so we're making that deal here. So without further ado, let's make them transfers and try and change this West Ham team around. Now, before we go any further, I just want to quickly talk to you guys about MFL. I know I've mentioned it a lot recently, but it's because I firmly believe in such a fantastic game. Right now is one of the best times to start into MFL because it's the start of a brand new season. And if you go into the game right now and you buy a club pack, you also get a free kickoff pack, which are worth $15 as well. So a really good time to sign up. And if you lose my code down in the description down below or 348655 as your referral code, you will also get a free player once you spend $25 or more. It is rollover day, the players are all aging, and it's the start of a brand new season. So if you've been thinking about getting into MFL over the last few times I've mentioned it, this is the time to get in. A free pack, well, that's the absolute dream. So head down to the link below and sign up to MFL now. Right, so transfers wise, we have sold Edson Alvarez to Monaco for 28 million and then spent 30 million pounds on 2 Southampton players. Number one is Taylor Harwood-Bellis, to come in and be a rotational centre-back, just 22 years of age, got some Premier League experience last season, but now I think he's ready to come into this West Ham side. And for just 18 million pounds, I brought in Mateus Fernandes, which is an absolute bargain considering in real life he has been quoted at around 40 million pounds. West Ham have made transfer moves for this guy, and I think it's a deal which happens before the end of the window. He is a fantastic central midfielder, but can also play in that advanced playmaker role as well. I've got him in this team playing in the box-to-box role, where I'm hoping he's going to be a box crasher for us, arrive late into the box and score some goals. I think he instantly improves the creativity of the side, and because we've got sort of Guido Rodriguez, and then right back wise we're probably going to have Wan-Bissaka there, we do really need that more advanced player in the team. I think Mateus Fernandes gives us that outlet in the midfield. Now, in terms of the season preview, we are bang on mid-table, 10th out of everyone, but of course we are using a bit of a different system to the 4-2-3-1. If you guys do download this save file and all the sort of systems we use throughout this video, it will change as we get there, hopefully into a top tier one. Well, I'll link them all in the description down below in the Patreon. For £3 you can buy just the save file and the tactics, or for £5 a month you get access to everything we make here on the Kempi channel. Every single file will be available down there for £5 a month. So if you want to get your hands on that, well, that's the place to go. But I'm waffling because we've got some jobs to do here at West Ham. We need to turn them into European champions. And if I'm not mistaken, we've got none of that so far. So we need to get onto it and secure European football. And well, truth be told, our Premier League form wasn't fantastic this season. Making them 2 signings and playing this kind of negative 5-back system wasn't great to kick off the year, but as we got kind of into the middle and throughout the month of December and January, we went on actually a really good unbeaten spell of about 10 games, but that didn't last for too long, and as we got to the second half of the season, yeah, things kind of went downhill a bit, and we were really poor. But what you might have mentioned is I only said Premier League because we went on a fantastic run in the FA Cup. Not the Carabao, the FA Cup. And it was a simply fantastic run as well. Jarrod Bowen got off to a great start in the final with a 1-0 early against Chelsea, and then Fulkrug on the stroke of half time as we come out made it 2. Wan-Bissaka then found Bowen once again on the right hand side, finding Mateus Fernandes in that box-to-box midfielder role, making it 3-0 in 56 minutes. Now, Chelsea are going to grab a goal back. Raheem Sterling sending a long ball forward, drops out to Caicedo into Cole Palmer for great long-range effort. But we had the last laugh. We scored the last goal, a 4-1 FA Cup final victory against Chelsea, showing that West Ham have the potential to be one of the best teams in the Premier League, and already one of the best teams in London with that result. That is an absolute banger, and you can see from the stats here as well, we matched them up really well. Equal amount of shots, similar amount of XG, but we were just better. Jarrod Bowen, like I said, he is a top-tier talent and will not let a team get relegated. So we did finish down in 13th place, but managed to secure Europa League football. 44 points, a negative 11 goal difference. Well, it's nowhere near good enough. But lifting that FA Cup trophy ticks off lifting a trophy very early, gets us into European football, and gets one over our London rivals Chelsea. So I think that's a pretty good first season. In terms of goals, it was dominated by Fulkrug grabbing 13, and Jarrod Bowen only scoring 8 and getting 5 assists, but you know, he's still an absolute legend. It's, to be fair, a really poor season from him, and I'd expect to see much better as we go through the rebuilds. James Ward-Prowse was good this season, 10 goal contributions, and Mateus Fernandes with 14. Harwood-Bellis with 7 as well, and a 6.92 is amazing. And in terms of average rating-wise, a star performer for us was actually Konstantinos Mavropanos, which is good to see. El Hadji Malik Diouf wasn't amazing this season, it's got to be said. 4 goal contributions, but developing into a new league, I think over the next 3, 4, 5 seasons, however long this takes, he will become an absolute superstar for us. In terms of finances, we have got £128 million in the bank and £67 million to spend in terms of transfers. So things are looking quite good. We've still, of course, got the same owners here. And there is a reason I bring that up, because at some point in this rebuild, we are going to get a ridiculous takeover and become one of the richest teams in the Premier League, which has a nice twist to this rebuild as well. So if you're still watching at this point, there's a lot of reason to carry on, because we're going to have some insane fun. Now, you may have noticed on the thumbnail was Evan Nielsen from Bournemouth. And I wasn't tripping when I done that because I signed him in the first season here to come in and join West Ham to be the new number 9. Coming in from Bournemouth as now a European side with Bournemouth not getting European football, I think it's quite a realistic move. He's good in big matches, he's very consistent, and now with a couple of seasons under his belt, proving himself in the Premier League, this move makes sense. And I think in this system, he's going to be an absolute joke. I then would have brought in Ethan Ampadu to join the club. Now, he's had 2 or 3 seasons at Leeds as a central centre-back or defensive midfielder, and here on FM, of course, he can play in both. He can play up as a deep-lying playmaker in the midfield or play in centre-back for us, and he's come in here for £34 million as Leeds got relegated, and I think that's a great signing coming back to London, but this time to the FA Cup champions. And finally, I've got out there and I've signed Ivan Ilic, a Serbian 6-foot midfielder coming in from Torino to come in as our new deep-lying playmaker. I've sold Thomas Souček for £28.5 million, which is crazy, and brought this guy in for 16.25, which is a fantastic piece of business, and he massively improves our midfield. I now absolutely love this West Ham team. With a new look front three of Lucas Paqueta, Evan Nielsen, and Jarrod Bowen, we look dangerous on the counter. The midfield duo of Ilic and Mateus Fernandes, the wing-backs of Diouf and Wan-Bissaka give us width, but also defensive stability, with Ampadu, Howard Bellis and Todibo all able to play the ball, and of course Ampadu able to step up into that central defensive midfield role as well, with Hermansen in goal. This is a team which, with the backup 11, which also looks fantastic. I mean, Ward-Prowse and Rodriguez as backup midfielders, Guilherme, Somerville, Fulkrug, Walker-Peters, Emerson, Kilman, Aguerd, Mavropanos and Adeola. They can go and play the Europa League games. This team can play the Premier League games, and I think we're going to have a very successful second season and potentially lift the biggest European trophy in West Ham's history. But first up, we were on a mission to prove that we were the biggest team in London, and throughout this rebuild, we're going to see us beat every single London team. Obviously, that massive result against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and this one, a huge 3-1 victory over Spurs in the Premier League, where we were absolutely dominant. A lovely free kick there from James Ward-Prowse made it 2-0. Solanke eventually scored for Spurs to make it 2-1, but we grabbed the third and final goal. Ward-Prowse once again on a set piece, this time from the spot, with a convincing 3-1 victory. And the Europa League, we performed pretty special as well, as we finished 5th place in the league phase, meaning we were going straight into the round of 16, where we faced up against Red Bull Salzburg. In the first leg was a 2-2 draw, but the second we were early gifted a goal and a lovely chip by Evan Nielsen to make it 1-0, and the second and final goal in this tie for a 4-2 victory, a ball by Jarrod Bowen into the box, drives past his man and finishes off home. Well, in the quarterfinals, we faced up against Celta Vigo. In the first leg, we lost 3-1, but once again at the London Stadium, we were dominant. A convincing 4-0 victory. While in the semis, we were facing up against Celtic. The Scottish Giants had got all the way to the semi-finals of the Europa League, and the first tie was a 1-1 draw, and they got an early penalty in this one to give them the lead. But a goal from Mateus Fernandes levelled things up, and in the 86th minute, Jarrod Bowen found Rodriguez on the edge of the box, a great ball out to Walker-Peters, a ball in the box, and our new number 9, Evan Nielsen, headed home to give us the 3-2 victory on aggregate, sending us to the final, where we once again proved to be Chelsea's nemesis. A 1-0 victory in the Europa League final, thanks to a lovely finish from Francisco Somerville, gave West Ham a Europa League trophy. As I said, the biggest European trophy West Ham have listed in their history is now in the books. So we've won a trophy, we've won the Europa League, and now we need to win the Premier League, which isn't going to happen this season. But already with just the few signings we have made, we have managed to make West Ham a 8th place team, getting out of that mid-table slump. Moving on from last season's 44 points, this year we grabbed 62 with a positive 12 goal difference and a massive lead in output with terms of points. In terms of the tactic, there was a subtle change. We changed from a centre-forward on support to a centre-forward on attack, and that helped with the goals. Evan Nielsen Evanilson grabbed 14, but most impressively it was Mateus Fernandes, 12 goals and 16 assists. James Ward-Prowse with 22 goal contributions, and Jarrod Bowen back on form with 18. Nicholas Füllkrug, a superb backup striker with 12 goal contributions as well, is absolutely brilliant. Hadji Malik Diouf, a much better second season, and new midfielder Ivan Ilicic was also fantastic. So the journey is now clear. We have to now make West Ham the best team in England. So let's make some big transfers to make them that way. Oh, and of course, this season we're in Champions League football. Kind of forgot to mention that. That's an absolute dub. And that means we've got to massively improve the squad depth here at West Ham. So number one, I signed a new backup goalkeeper in Stefano Turati. Number two, I made the signing of Joachim Mayl, the Danish right wing back, for £9 million. Number three, American centre-back / centre defence midfielder Leonard Maloney joins the club from Mainz. The fourth is promising young French centre-back Tanguy Nianzou coming in to rotate in the defensive positions. Next up was Hugo Alvarez, a promising left wing back to rotate with Hadji Malik Diouf. And then the big boys. Joris Chotard comes in to be a starting midfielder from us, a signing from Sunderland after he moved there from Montpellier. And finally, Jorgen Strand Larsen, the Norwegian striker currently at Wolves, comes in to be the new rotational striker behind Evanilson. And we spent £98 million, so we had to raise some money. So we raised £36.5 million plus the 44.5, including the sales of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Nicholas Füllkrug. So it's going to be a much different West Ham side this season, and you can see that from the team we're looking at now. We've moved Mateus Fernandes into the starting cam role, dropping Lucas Paqueta onto the bench. Chotard and Ilic make up the midfield, while Bowen and Evanilson stay up top. The wing-backs, we're now looking at Diouf and Mayl, and the back three, Mavropanos, Howard Bellis and Nianzou, with Hermansen staying in goal. It's a new look West Ham for a new era, now going to attempt to be the best team in England. And if I can just ask, because around 64% of you are not subscribed to the channel, so if you are enjoying this video, make sure you smash the like button and subscribing, because it helps out massively as we look to push on to 20k subscribers for the start of FM26. And well, in Season 3, you literally might not believe this, but we are facing up against Chelsea once again in a final. And are we once again going to make it a final victory over Chelsea, being 3 seasons in a row where we go a goal down thanks to a lovely move from Garnacho, but we make it 1-1 in the 74th minute with Cisco Somerville sending the Carabao Cup final to extra time. The ball comes out to Chotard, he finds Walker Peters, beats his man, gets to the byline and finishes home to make it 2-1. And we grabbed a third and final as well as Chelsea sent everyone forward. Diouf on the ball, sets it back to Ampadu, into Ilic, into Mateus Fernandes to make it 3-1. And 3 seasons in a row, West Ham United lift the trophy against Chelsea. I did not expect that to start this rebuild. Especially because Chelsea really are one of the best teams in the Premier League, as they join Arsenal on 79 points this season, just missing out on the title by a 2-goal difference. They are having a torrid time this year. We finished down in 7th place on our best points tally yet, and once again get European football. Sadly, due to England's poor coefficient rankings, it is Europa Conference League football, and 6th place Aston Villa actually miss out on Europe entirely, which is very, very peak. And I can't help but feel that we have something to do with that, getting knocked out in the league phase, sadly, in 27th place on 6 points. In the final as well was Juventus versus PSG. So England having no representation in a European final. And with this the season where we change things even more, as we raised £190 million in outgoings. Paqueta, Ilic, Somerville, Nianzou, Walker Peters, Aguerd, Max Kilman and Turati all leave the club. And we replaced all of them with real quality. Number one, a new backup goalkeeper, an English one as well, with James Trafford joining for just £10.5 million after 4 seasons sitting on the bench at Manchester City. How I bet he wishes he moved to Newcastle. Now they're looking to sign Gianluigi Donnarumma. Next up was my first regen signing. It's Gilo Papa, who I've signed from Lazio and loaned straight out to Coventry. The third is that man Kenny Taylor, joining from Ajax for £24.5 million to be a replacement for Ilic. Again, moving on from a slightly worse midfielder to a better midfielder while making money. I don't know how we're doing this, but we are smashing it. And then we signed Harvey Elliott for £23.5 million in what could be the deal of this game. I don't know how I've done this. I mean, I do actually. He's played literally no games in the last season. Well, we played 18 in 3 years at Liverpool, and he's now here for £23.5 million. And he is going to be absolutely fantastic for us. 24 years of age. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ends up moving somewhere like West Ham in real life at the back end of this transfer window. I mean, I'm recording this 3 or 4 days before it actually comes out, so it might have already happened. We then signed Mies Hilgers from FC Twente for £13.75 million. And Alex Scott, one of England's most promising young midfielders, joins from Bournemouth for £48 million. It's an expensive one, but it's a big midfield signing, replacing Lucas Paqueta. And I think it's safe to say we're set here for quite a few good seasons with him and Harvey Elliott. And well, this isn't a signing, but we've had a regen come through who looks fantastic. It's Max Sweeney, a young English attacking right wing back with elite consistency. Coming through the academy. He is coming straight into the first team, and I'm locking him in to that right wing back position for the rest of this and possibly the rest of the rebuild, as I want to see how good we can get an academy graduate as well. So welcome to your new look West Ham team. Hermansen stays in goal, but the back three, well, it's pretty similar actually to it is in real life, just with the signing of Mies Hilgers, with Mavropanos and Todibo staying. Right wing back is Sweeney, left wing back is Diouf. In midfield, Kenneth Taylor and Alex Scott, with Bowen, Elliott and Evan Nielsen leading the line. We have James Trafford, Maloney, Harwood Bellis and Ampadu on the bench. Mail and Alvarez, the backup wing backs. Mateus Fernandes, Shotard, Luis Guillermo and Strand Larson. And then another regen coming through in Carl Williams. This guy's an attacker and played 2 games last season. A lot harder for me to bring him into the first team because he's a right winger and we have Jarrod Bowen. But if at any point we get into this rebuild and Jarrod Bowen's no longer here, well, Carl Williams will be the brand new right winger. So let's hope to see this West Ham side lift a 4th trophy in 4 seasons, as we're in the Europa Conference League. And I always say, this is the easiest competition to win on FM. With them brand new signings, we do have our best season yet in terms of finishing in 6th place and securing Europa League football. But sadly, that's not due to winning the Conference League. And my curse of saying this is the easiest trophy to win seems to live on, as I've said that a few times now, and we end up not winning it, which is really frustrating. But we do carry on the 4-season streak now of lifting a trophy as we face up against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. Jarrod Bowen and Kenneth Taylor linking up to make it 1-0 before United bounce back. Rashford, Shaw and Mainu down the left-hand side. Eventually Rashford putting it into the top corner. But a second is going to come for us and we are going to take 4 trophies in 4 seasons. Luis Guillermo finds Jaris Chotard to fire home into the back of the net. And this was by far the most successful season for the side overall. Evan Nielsen with 30 goals this season. Alex Scott with 15 goal contributions. Jarrod Bowen with 19. Fernandes with 15. Shotard with 8. Hadji Malik Diouf with 8 assists and 5 goals as well. Is brilliant. And I do feel like this team has taken on a massive step in recent seasons. In terms of the age profile of the squad as well, we are mainly under 28 and a bunch of mid-20s players about to step into their prime. So we could be about to see a meteoric rise for this side. Max Sweeney was also fantastic this season with 9 goal contributions as an 18-year-old with a 6.75 average rating. And then the board takeover happened. We have now got Joe Lewis, Masood Ganiato and Naresh Pereira from India to come in and be sugar daddy owners. Now, I am fully aware that the pen has been throughout this whole entire rebuild. I haven't used it once, and we're about to become one of the richest teams in the world. You can see I've already finished season 5, and I have a £200 million transfer budget, which is wild. This season, I signed 4 young rotational players and Keane Lewis Potter, and took us to another final. This time, it's the FA Cup. We won this in Season 1 and haven't won it since. Evan Nielsen against Manchester City grabs a great early start. We also grab a second as Jarrod Bowen at the back stick makes it 2. And we grab a third. Ethan Ampadu finds Harvey Elliott, spins his man, finds Bowen, scores once again. But things are about to crumble. Manchester City are about to go on a ridiculous second half comeback. Rodri basically playing Sean Dyche ball. A long ball up to Haaland makes it 3-1. Schlotterbeck down the ball. Naipan, Doku. Look at the speed. Finds Haaland. 3-2. And 3-3. Are we about to finally lose our trophy streak? Vardiol finds Mateus Nunes to fire home for that third goal. Or a West Ham gonna bounce back. Jarrod Bowen, on the right-hand side, gets it back to Shotard, into Mateus Fernandes, to Juve to score, just for City to score once again and make the game 4-4. And it finishes and goes to penalties, where the final penalty was missed by Ruben Diaz and makes West Ham United, for 5 seasons in a row, trophy winners. And look at these match stats. We have just played Manchester City and dominated them. 18 shots to their 8, a 3.09 XG to their 1.33. That is about as dominating as it gets. And we are FA Cup winners once again. This sadly was a bit of a drop-off in league form, down into 9th place, but thanks to winning the FA Cup, we have Europa League football once again. Sadly, we weren't able to win that this season, as the Conference League winners last year and the team that knocked us out in the semi-finals knock us out in the semi-finals once again. It's Lyon, who then go on to lose to Liverpool in the final. The goals were much more spread out this season as well. Evan Nielsen grabbing 22, but Bowen having his best season yet with 27 goal contributions. And Max Sweeney, another 7 goal contributions, now a 6.95. He is progressing unbelievably well. But rather than go and spend all the new owners' money, I decided to give it a season off with transfers and really build up that transfer budget. And that proved to be a pretty good plan, as for the 6th season in a row, we win another trophy. This time, another Europa League trophy. One of the young players, Ajax, we signed a few seasons ago, whips this one in for Evan Nielsen. And we win the Europa League against Sevilla. They used to be the serial winners of Europa League football. Now it's us. We just love a trophy. But once again, we finished down in 7th place. Now we have, of course, got Champions League football and quite a large transfer budget of £200 million. So I'm going to go absolutely wild. Welcome Tottenham captain at this point, Mickey van der Ven, for £85 million to join West Ham. We are proving we are the biggest team in London and are going for blood. Đorđe Petrovic joins from Bournemouth after 208 games as their starting goalkeeper. We then signed the new Blue Co player, Julio Enciso. That deal makes no sense. Who has he signed for? Blue Co? Strasbourg? Chelsea? Yokohama? I've got no idea who this guy plays for, but he is signed to Blue Co, and on this game still at Brighton, and he's played 204 games there and been fantastic. So I've just splashed 60, rising to £90 million on him. And finally, Everton's new number 9, Tierno Jetbarri, joins West Ham. We stole Evan Nielsen from Bournemouth and took a massive step up. Now we take Tierno Barry from Everton and look to make it a top 4 or Premier League winning side. So after £222 million spent, I think it's safe to say we look like one of the best teams in the world. Enciso, Elliott, Scott, Bowen, Barry, Juve, Sweeney, Hilgers, Papa, Van der Ven and Petrovic is the new look West Ham side. We've just stole Everton striker in Barry, and now we're going to steal another trophy away, making it 7 seasons on the trot as Alex Scott scores to make it 1-0. Everton signing a Mega to be the new rotation option up front for them. Finds a Mikalenko in the box to find Jimmy Garner to make it 1-1, and a second is going to come from West Ham, and it's from that new man up top, Tierno Barry, with that high press, gets on it, fires in from the edge of the box to make it 2-1, doesn't celebrate, looks all cool, looks all swaggy, and he gets West Ham another trophy. That's another FA Cup to add to the books. In the Champions League, we got all the way to the quarterfinals, but sadly lost to Manchester City. But in the Premier League, we had by far our best season yet, on 76 points, finishing in 5th place. A ridiculous top 3 of City, Arsenal and Chelsea, all finishing within 1 point of each other. And next season, I want us to be in that race as well, because we have taken massive strides over the last few years. We have built one of the most ridiculous teams I've ever had here on Football Manager, and I think we are definitely ready to go for a title. A reminder to all West Ham fans, this is available down the Patreon down below. You can pick it up from when the new takeover comes in, you have all the money, or at the end of this rebuild when West Ham are Premier League champions. So we're only starting 2 players this year. Number 1, Sander Maas from Ajax, the new player through their academy that looks fantastic with 20 flair and is the new Cam here at West Ham. And finally, a new number 1 and the one that I am confident of for the rest of the year. It's Lucas Canizares, who starts this game now at Farense in Portugal after moving there from Real Madrid. Moved to Lyon, was a nightmare for us in terms of lifting Conference Leagues and Europa Leagues, and now is with us for £59 million. So can this West Ham side do the impossible and lift the Premier League? Well, I'm not surprised to say whatsoever how good our start to this season was. 5 against Burnley, beating Bournemouth, Palace, Arsenal, Sunderland, Fulham, Liverpool, and eventually finally losing on the 22nd of November to Chelsea. We then went back on an unbeaten streak until the 1st of January, where Bournemouth beat us. But I think it's safe to say the first half of the season, just 2 losses. That's title winning form. And in the second half of the season, well, we done exactly that again. Only 1 loss against Liverpool at Anfield. The rest, all victories, including this 1-0 against Spurs. I think Spurs were the last team I had to prove we were better than in terms of beating. But I think also lifting a Premier League title proves that you're better. 87 points, a 48 goal difference, 26 wins, and West Ham United in the year 2032 are Premier League winners. That right there is a ridiculous rebuild, a ridiculous campaign, and I cannot believe the team we have managed to build here at West Ham is one of them rebuilds. I've just had some fun. They've got off to an awful start in the Premier League, and I want to prove that this club, well, it has a lot of room to grow into. Even with all that spending, we have £256 million in the bank and another £125 million to spend, and are just stupidly rich. The new owners are just pumping money in left, right and centre. So if you want a fun save to play, West Ham could be the one for you. Thank you so much for watching as I rebuild West Ham into what they should be. One of the biggest clubs in England. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time, and I'll speak to you then.